Hey guys, in this episode, I'm going to be teaching you the guitar chords in the key of E. It's all on this episode of Everything 101. Let's get to it. Hey, welcome back guys to Everything 101. So let's talk about the key of E. Key of E is not a big deal in guitar. I want to show you the main chords. And I also want to show you a variation of those chords to help get you changing up your sound a little bit. You have chords and then you have chord variations. You have different takes on those chords. So I'm going to show you several different things in this episode, but let's start with the main chords in the key of E. So what are the chords? The main chords are in the key of E are E, A, and B. E, A, and B are our three main chords. Our relative minor in E is C sharp minor. That's the main minor chord. And then our other minor chord that we would use would be an F sharp minor. So I'm going to show you those. I want to go ahead and tell you that we're going to start looking at some bar chords and some more challenging types of chords. And so those are coming in the near future. In this episode, I'm going to get you started with a basic form of the two minor chords, and then we can expand those into bar chords when we get to the bar chord lesson, okay? So let's start, baby steps. Let's start with one and take a few more steps later on and expand it. All right, well, let's start with the E chord, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my first finger and I'm going to put it on the G string, which is the third string from the bottom of the guitar here. I'm going to put it on the first fret of that string, okay? I'm going to put that on the G sharp note. Now my third finger is going to go on the string above it, second fret, and then my second finger is going to go on top of that on the second fret of the second string from the top of the guitar up here, okay, on the A string, okay? So we've got a B note, we've got an E note, and we've got a G sharp right up here. We're gonna strum all 6 strings. Okay, so he has a nice little full sound there. Okay, so that gives us the E chord. So practice just making that chord and then let go. And this is always good just to let go, make the chord, let go, make the chord. To get your mind used to making that chord and coming back to it. Okay, now let's talk about the A chord. You'll see people play A chords in different ways. Sometimes you'll see them use one finger, and that's a big thing in rock, so that's okay. But I'm going to teach you a standard way, and there's a reason I'm going to teach you the standard way is because you can modify it easily for chords later. So I'm going to teach you A. You can easily turn this into an A major 7 or an A7, but you'll get to that later on. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 3 in a row right here. We're going to start on the second string from the bottom here, second string up. That's the B string, and we're going to put our third finger on the second fret, okay? Now, our first finger is going to go right above it on the next string up, second fret also. And then my second finger is going to go, again, the string above that, second fret. So we have 3 notes in a row on the second fret, okay? So it goes like this. We're putting that second finger in there, just kind of working it in. All right, so that's what we have. You can strum all 6 strings. They all go with this chord. Okay, so that's what we get. All right, now practice going back and forth between the E and the A. Okay, now let's talk about the B chord. I almost want to say the dreaded B chord because people they kind of have issues with this chord sometimes. The B chord is going to require you to play 3 in a row just like we did, but there's an issue with it. We have to move it up 2 frets. So look at the guitar. You have the A chord right here. We're barring those 3. You want to take those up 2 frets because we're going from A to B, so we're raising it from A to B. All right, we're passing the B flat going up to the B. But the problem is, that doesn't sound right. So this note doesn't go with the B chord, and this note and this note, they don't go with the B chord. So you get a weird sound if you try to strum it like this. It doesn't really go. So what we have to do is we have to keep these three notes down, but we're gonna have to trade fingers, okay? So most people, well, there are different ways you can learn a B chord. I'll show you one way and then we'll modify it, okay? So one way to do it is to free up your first finger, and I'll show you why in a minute. So if we do that, we can use these three fingers to play those three notes like this, okay? Now we've freed up our first finger, we're gonna put it on that B right there, okay? Now here's the problem. Unless you are pretty skilled, you don't have a finger free to keep yourself from playing this bottom string down here. So you've got that note coming out here, that E, and that actually makes it a B suspended chord, a totally different kind of chord. So unless you're skilled and can strum just those strings, this is kind of a tough structure to pull off. Okay, but that's one way you can do it. Here's another way. Leave your first finger where it is. Use your third finger to bar all three of those, like this. And then your first finger there, you can strum those. Now the thing about this is, you can actually use your first finger, if you want, to kind of push it forward a little bit and mute that so it doesn't come out. So it kind of helps you keep this from coming out because this note doesn't go with it. And usually also this finger can kind of help mute this bottom one if it's just kind of laying there. So that helps you play kind of a full chord, all right? Now, here's another way to play a B chord. I can play an F chord. Remember how we barred these two and then we put this there and this there? Now I can do that, but I can move it up to the 7th fret, okay? And now I can play those four. That's one way to play a B, okay? So what I want you to do is take some time to work on those three chords, especially the B chord, because you really want to work on picking a style, picking a version of it, playing it, going to it, being able to play it quickly and get to it quickly and easily, and then go to a different form. Then, modify what you learn. Learn something, take another step, modify it, take another step. Okay, now let's talk about those minor chords. The relative minor of E is going to be a C sharp minor. So to make a C sharp minor, I'm going to go up here to the 4th fret, and I'm going to put my first finger on the 4th fret on this high E string. Okay, now I'm going to take my second finger and I'm going to go to the next string up and I'm going to put it on the 5th fret. Okay, and after that, I'm going to take my 4th finger and go to the next string down on the next fret up, the 6th fret. Okay, and then I'm going to put my other finger on top of this one right there. Okay, and I'm going to get this. Okay, there's that sad sound to it. Okay, that's one way you can play a C sharp minor. Okay, now it's like we talked about a B minor before, just moving it up to a C sharp minor. So this would be a C minor, future reference. So you got B, C, C sharp. D would be a different way to play a D also, but that's a C sharp minor. Now, the other minor chord in this key would be an F sharp minor. And an F sharp minor is going to be a little bit of a challenge also because we're going to have to bar some notes, okay? Take my first finger and I'm going to bar on the 2nd fret the bottom 3 strings. I'm going to bar all 3 of those like that. And now I want to take my third finger and go up here to the D string, okay, the third string from the top of the guitar on the 4th fret. And I can play, actually in this, I can play the last 5 strings. Okay, that's an F sharp minor. So practice going back and forth between the A, the E, I should say, the A, the B, whatever version you want to start with, and also the C sharp minor and the F sharp minor. Okay, now those are your 5 main chords. Now I want to show you just kind of a fun variation of the A and the B chord. You can play an E chord. Some people do this just to kind of learn strumming and to learn the feel of moving around the guitar. Okay, so this is really good for that. But if you play an E chord and then you just take the whole chord and you slide it up to where your first finger is on the 6th fret, that's not a straight up A chord, it's a variation of an A chord. Has a little bit different sound than, okay, but you can just take your E chord and go up to the 6th fret. Now if you go up 2 more frets, you get a variation of the B. Right? Obviously that doesn't sound like this. It has a couple little different notes in there, but it has a nice sound to it. And back to the 6th fret, where your first finger is on the 6th fret, and then back to your E. Now what I've seen people do is learn to just strum the guitar by using those 3 like this. Yeah, so that's just a cool little riff that you can learn, and it kind of gets you just strumming. It makes you feel like you're playing the guitar. So it's great, it's a cool little thing. Well guys, that covers the key of E, and I hope this has been beneficial to you. Join me next time, we'll jump into some more great guitar lessons on Everything 101, and I'll see you soon.